Right. Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha, Quadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. This is the brother Yashimai coming back at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. I wanted to speak on this breakdown that a lot of these false teachers and these false prophets have been going into, as you may know, according to the book of Luke, and according to the book of Mark, according to the book of Matthew, and even in the Old Testament, it prophesied that there would be false prophets which would rise up amongst these different congregations, teaching things which they ought not for filthy lucre's sake, as it tells you in the book of Jude, the first chapter, whose mouths must be stopped, that subvert whole doctrines and teaching things which they ought not. So, now the new thing that's going around is that you got false prophets out there and false teachers teaching that Ezekiel 38 and Revelation, the 20th chapter, is going into how after the kingdom of heaven is established, there's this false breakdown going around that in Ezekiel, where it says that after many days thou shalt be visited, right? In Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, where the Lord said that thou will be like a storm to come up against the land of Israel, right? They're trying to use that breakdown. And then you go to Revelation 20, right? The 20th chapter, where it goes into how after 1,000 years, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to the four corners. When you got false teachers out there trying to say that those breakdowns, those particular prophecies are going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. And that is just simply false. And the reason why I say that, and the reason why we say that, is because once the kingdom of heaven is established, ain't nobody else going to come up against us. Ain't nobody going to plot to take us out of power. None of that. And one thing our people always keep forgetting is that the reason why we were taken down from power from the beginning was because of what? Our sins, because of our transgressions, because of our iniquities. Okay? The Bible even tells you that the iniquities of Israel have prevented us from what? From the goodly things which the Lord had prepared for us. Have prepared for us, right? The kingdom of heaven. So the reason why we got taken out of power from the beginning was because of our sins and transgressions. But now we know that according to biblical prophecy, that when the elect get beamed up into what the world calls UFOs, like it tells you in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, okay, in a moment, in the twinkling of the eye, the elect shall all be changed. Okay? Changed into what? Well, their spirits are going to be transferred from their current bodies that they're in into the new body. And we have a good idea of what those new bodies are like when we go to Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. In the book of Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, what did the Lord say concerning Israel? He said he will take his laws and write it in our inward parts. Now, when you go into that word inward parts, that's going into your mind. The law is going to take his laws, statutes, and the Lord is going to take Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai is going to take the laws, statutes, and commandments, and they are going to embed them into the minds of those extraterrestrial bodies, which will be waiting for the Lord's elect and what the world calls UFOs. Those bodies are waiting in Yahweh Shai's chariot or wherever they may be. But we know that when the elect gets beamed up into what the world calls UFOs, their spirit is going to be transferred from the current body that it is in into those new bodies. Okay? And once the spirits of the elect, once the spirits once their spirits gets put into those new bodies, they're never going to sin again. They're going to be perfect with the Lord. Okay? Now, in the book of Judith, the 5th chapter, right, there was a general amongst the army. I believe that general was a Moabite, but basically, I don't think he was a general. I'm not going to wing it or anything, but there was a Moabite. He could have been a commander, a retainer, or whatever, but he was talking, basically saying, if Israel have transgressed against their power, let us therefore go and besiege the city. But if Israel, sin not against their power, and if they be one with their power, then let us move forward, lest their Lord fight for them. You see? So the only time we was taken out of power, the only time we fled before our enemies was when we sinned against the Lord. The only time we lost our power or our might was when we sinned against the Lord. You want to know why we're in captivity today? Because of our sins, our iniquities. So even before the kingdom of heaven is established, the Lord's elect will have those new bodies where they will be perfect, never to sin again. They'll be perfect, never to sin again. So if the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, are going to be perfect, just who's going to take us out of power? Who amongst our nation is going to be sinning in that day to where the heathen will be able to take us down? Like it makes no sense. You see, in the kingdom of heaven, like it tells you in Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, it tells you that all of Israel shall know the Lord, because the 2/3 of our people, they're going to come back through the loins of the elect in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? the 2/3 of our people of the nation of Israel who perish on this side, they are going to come back through the loins of the elect in the kingdom of heaven. And at 2/3 of our people, they're going to come back perfect in their right mind. So even the 2/3 of our people are going to be perfect. Okay? Was we not removed out of the Holy Land because of all of our iniquities? Because of our sins? So again, if we're perfect with the Lord, at every time, because back in the ancient world, every time we was perfect with the Lord, there was no nation on the planet that could fuck with us. Especially if we was doing that which was right in the sight of the Lord, right? The Lord said that he would be an enemy to our enemies and he would be an adversary to our adversaries. So we know that according to Bible prophecy, even before the kingdom of heaven is even established here on earth, we know the elect is going to be perfected. The elect of the nation of Israel. So because of that alone, that alone should be enough to tell you that ain't no nation going to be fucking with us in the kingdom of heaven, okay? And if they even think about rising up, they're going to simply be crushed, destroyed, okay? Ain't nobody going to fuck with us in the kingdom, okay? Especially in the kingdom of heaven, nobody going to be fucking with us. Okay? And then on top of that, we're going to have spiritual power. So a lot of our people like to forget that the reason why we was taken out of power from the beginning was because we transgressed against the Lord. But once the elect receive those new bodies, they're never going to sin again. So who's going to have the power to take us down here on the earth? And then on top of that, Yahweh Shai will be present with his people, starting with the elect. King David will be present. We're going to have these heathens in slavery. They're going to be building up the kingdom. And like it tells you in Revelation, the 20th chapter, right? In Revelation, the 20th chapter, it tells you that once the kingdom of heaven is established, right? It tells you that that the heathen, it tells you that the Edomites are going to be exterminated from off the planet. But the rest of the heathen, they're going to get their own land back. Now you see, what a lot of our people don't understand is that the Holy Scriptures, jumps around, You cannot read the Holy Scriptures like it's some kind of novel or a book, even though it is a collection of book, right? A collection of books, because the word Bible goes back to the Latin biblios, which means a collection of books. And you're right, the Holy Bible is a collection of books, but you can't read it like it's an actual book, because then you're going to get snared, you're going to get confused, you're going to be dumbfounded. It's going to raise questions, There's a reason why in the book of Isaiah, the 28th chapter, it says, line must be upon line, line upon line, precept upon precept, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. There's a reason why I say that. You got to know when the Bible is talking about different time periods, okay? Like, sometimes you'll read in the scriptures, right? It'll say, and it came to pass. You really got to think about that. And it came to pass, So, and it came to pass, Does the Bible skip a few years ahead? Does it, You got to look out for those kind of things, So especially when it comes to the book of Revelation, The Spirit has to be working with you to actually read and understand that. Because if not, you're going to be waiting for a red scarlet colored dragon with 7 heads to come up out of an ocean and start shooting fire at people while roaring and terrifying the inhabitants of the earth. No, man. The Spirit got to be dealing with you. Okay, that scarlet colored dragon that's talking about NATO with the 7 heads and 10 horns. But the reason why the dragon is called a scarlet colored dragon is because what color is Edom? Edom is red, okay? Scarlet is just another word for red, okay? How do you say red in the Hebrew? It's adawam, okay? So we know that the scarlet colored dragon is tied to Esau, who is red. And that he will be the one that will have rulership over this dragon. The scarlet colored dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns. But again, Spirit's got to be working with you, man. And I'm not saying the Spirit is working with me. I mean, Lord's will, the Ha-Racha Kodash is working with me, But still, there ain't gonna be no war in the kingdom of heaven. And Isaiah the 2nd chapter cuts that, because it tells you that nations shall, it tells you that they shall beat their swords and their plowshares and their spears and their pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Okay? Malachi 3:6, the Lord don't change. So in the kingdom of heaven, how the hell is heathens going to have weapons to come up against the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be our kingdom, starting with Yahweh, right? Well, which is really Yahweh's kingdom. But the scriptures say that, the elect, whosoever they may be out there, are going to be joint heirs with Yahweh. So how is the heathen going to, accumulate weapons to come up against us when the Holy Scriptures, according to Bible prophecy, clearly tells you that nations shall not learn war anymore? The Lord is not the author of confusion, like it tells you in 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter. The Lord is not the author of confusion. Okay? It tells you that in the kingdom of heaven, okay, nation is not going to lift up sword against nation. Okay? And furthermore, after the kingdom of heaven is established, order and righteousness is brought back into the earth. Okay? Edom is going to be done away with. Tells you that in Obadiah 1 and 10 on down. Edom is going to be done away with, and the other nations are going to get their land back. Okay? So, I mean, that's pretty much it, You see, people still coming with these false breakdowns that, Gog and Magog is going to come up against us in the kingdom of heaven. No, they're not. Okay? Ezekiel 38 is going to be fulfilled on this side. Because the Lord is not only raising up Russia to come up against the United States, but also the small hats in the land of Israel. But, again, I would like to just do another video on it, on this particular topic of Ezekiel 38. I pray and hope that you, sincere brothers and few sisters, have been edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And with that, I'm going to say, Shalom, is on to the next one.